Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Wednesday, March 5th, 2014. We're reporting today from London. Meanwhile, the news continues from the Crimea. Yesterday, the stock market recovered all of its losses. The Standard & Poor's hit an all-time high, apparently on the belief that President Putin's remarks saying that Russia would not intervene militarily any further actually meant something. So the stock market's jitters calmed down a little bit. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry appeared in Kiev this morning, stopping there on his way to Paris. In Kiev, he promised a $1 billion American aid package to the new Ukraine government. Later on today in Paris, the United States and the EU, and quite possibly the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, are going to meet. This will be the first face-to-face diplomatic discussion about the Ukraine crisis. Russian government, meanwhile, is saying that the thousands of military men currently patrolling the Crimea, speaking Russian, using Russian weapons and Russian tanks, but without any insignias on their uniform, are in fact not Russian soldiers at all, but simply Ukraine patriots who are patrolling the streets, taking care of the 67% Russian ethnic population in the Crimea. This remains to be seen what's going to occur. Keep in mind that the British Foreign Secretary William Hague is calling this the worst foreign crisis in the 21st century. He may not be far off from the truth. Meanwhile, that earthquake that struck off the coast of California yesterday has been upgraded by the United States Geological Service to a 5.0. It was originally reported as a 4.6. It occurred about 152 miles southwest of Catalina Island, which is just off the coast from Los Angeles. Meanwhile, in New Jersey, not far from our office in Princeton and Ewing Township, an explosion in a gas line apparently blew a home, quote, to smithereens, killing at least one person and injuring 7 people. This occurred just at about noon. It damaged 55 surrounding homes. Public service, electric, and gas utility workers were responding to the smell of gas on the site. They were working to repair a damaged gas line when an explosion ripped through the complex. The person who was killed was a resident, discovered some area away from the blast on the hood of a car. Apparently, it was obviously a very strong blast. The big French reinsurer Scor, run by Dennis Kessler, the 4th largest reinsurer in the world, reported a 31% increase in its 2013 profit, helped by a stronger performance from its P&C division. It reported net income of 549 million euros, or about 714 million US dollars during the year, up from 418 million euros last year. President Kessler said Scor is well positioned for the current financial environment and reinsurance market developments. South Korea's defense minister warned today that North Korea could conduct a nuclear or long-range missile test. This is following a series of short-range missile tests that Pyongyang has launched over the past several days. The South Korean defense minister told a parliamentary committee that he could not exclude the possibility of long-range or nuclear tests. Since last Thursday, North Korea has fired at least 11 short-range missiles and other projectiles into the ocean off its east coast. The spokesman for the North Korean military this morning called those tests routine. Speaking to the official Korean Central News Agency, he denied that the launches were raising any tensions. Meanwhile, here in London, the weather is quite nice. For the first time in many weeks, visitors from New Jersey and Philadelphia have seen grass, even the occasional tulips blooming. Budding on trees is occurring. Robins are beginning to chirp. It's actually almost springtime here. When the United States is laboring under a severe winter, it's a situation that is quite distinct and different. Much of the talk here is on the flooding in the southwestern part of England, which apparently was quite disastrous. It's expected that total claims might hit about £2 billion, but probably not quite attached at the reinsurance level. Big news over here is the Royal Sun Alliance rights issue, which is expected to bring in about $1.9 billion new. Standard & Poor's has upgraded them to an A rating. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll be reporting again tomorrow from London.